Gaudete, gaudete, Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, 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 Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete. Tempus adest gratiae, hoc quod optabamus, carmina Laetitiae, devotere damus, gaudete, gaudete, Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, 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 Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, et Echielis porta, clauso per transitur, unde lux est orta, salus invenitur, gaudete, gaudete, Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, 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 Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, ergo nostra concito, psalatiam in lustro, benedicat Domino, salus Regi nostro, gaudete, gaudete, Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, 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 Christus ist natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
Welcome to another episode of the Music Community Podcast. I am Random Girl Singing, along with my co-hosts Dan Drumstone and Doc Bizzle. And today we have a very special guest joining us all the way from Austria, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Austria. Well, welcome. We've got KawauTV or KawauTV. And he's going to tell you a little bit more about what he does on his channel. Now, you got your start on YouTube doing online content, didn't you?
That's true. I started making YouTube videos about my hobby. The hobby is the Middle Ages, recreating medieval clothing, medieval food, drinking medieval drinks, and so on. So it's also about beer and meat and all this stuff, but it's all in German. So I couldn't get a lot of audience. And one of the first things I did was showing different instruments they use on medieval markets. Medieval markets in Austria and Germany are quite similar to Ren fairs in the US.
Yeah. Okay.
Love those.
You use a lot of instruments that people think that are medieval and they're not. So I showed medieval instruments and medieval market instruments, which just look like historical instruments and aren't, and show this to the people. And yes, that was my beginning, and I started that because I was asked so often about instruments that I didn't want to write everybody the same, that I just made YouTube videos to say, okay, here's a link. If you have any questions after that, then come back.
Yeah. Now, when did you start your YouTube channel? How long ago was that?
5 years ago, about 5 years. Yes.
Yeah, and you've been doing this type of work for how long?
I'm a self-employed medieval minstrel since 2001.
Got it. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That's insane. Was it a gradual shift? Or was there a
No, I studied medicine before.
That's really cool.
But I stopped that. I quit studying because I got self-employed.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. Our guest last week was also in medicine before she switched.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So what interested what interested you in becoming a minstrel? Like, where did that hobby begin, or did you play music before that?
The funny thing is that I don't know exactly, because I think I never stopped being interested in medieval things, because I started in groups and standing in front of an audience when I was 15. That was 1984. That was the first big medieval markets where I performed was in 1984, and the years after that I was a fighter, not a singer or musician. I come from the fighting, so I started with sword and shield, and I did that for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was in this medieval group, and I was squire to a knight in this group. And after I got as good as himself fighting, he said, "No, but fighting is not that thing what makes you a knight, because the knighthood also needs courtesy." Is that the right word?
Courtesy.
Yeah.
Courtesy.
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 And there he says, so you have to learn chess, you have to learn an instrument. Because,
You have to be a gentleman.
yes, that is all the things that you need to be a knight. So he gave me my first recorder when I was 19. Mm-hmm. I quit music in school because I was so bad in music. And instead of that, I just kept on drawing, because drawing was a bit easier for me.
Yeah.
And my knight says, "Here is your recorder." And I said, "What should I do with that?" "Play it." "How can I play a recorder?" "Just open the holes from the bottom to the top and close it from the top to the bottom."
I'm sure your mother can attest that you learned how.
Yeah. But now you
And
do
then
three at once. Now you do three at once.
Yes, of course.
Of
amazing.
course.
The thing is that, opening and closing holes while breathing into an instrument was quite funny. And after a while, some of the tunes sound good. And I was interested in other instruments. And on the medieval market, you can see a lot of instruments. And you can go to the other people and just say, "May I try your instrument?" And they have, on the market, they sell instruments. Sometimes I got instruments as a present or so, or cheaper than other people, and that was really great, because so I had my first ocarina, and for example, this ocarina here, I got in the 80s. I really bought that in the 80s.
Wow.
Can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, just
Please.
just something like that.
That's what that is? That's an ocarina.
Yeah.
You hear it all the time in like a film or which is cool, because this goes to your roots where you've explained this to people. You've been teaching people about this type of stuff.
Yeah, I want to show people, and I also go to schools and kindergarten to show medieval instruments and medieval music. And that's really great, because the children are absolutely amazed by seeing all the stuff. And okay, I don't let them try out recorders or everything you can breathe in, but I give them the chance to try out things like the boat psaltery or organetto or something like that. So
cool.
Different medieval instruments, stringed instruments, or the organetto is like a handheld organ with real organ pipes. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now how forgive my lack of knowledge, but how far back are we talking these instruments in time are from? What years would you say?
Yeah.
It depends on the instrument, but recorders are are thousands of years old. So I made myself some bone flutes, for example.
You made them yourself?
Yeah, if you have a bone, you can make flutes. They were if they're what is the word, hollow in the interior?
Yeah, hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's useful for a flute. It maybe of a pig, or maybe part of a sheep,
or like a rib. Yeah,
deer is great, and I've even tried out some bone flutes from wolf or swan.
It's crazy.
Wow.
My
a swan makes an overtone flute, so you don't have any holes. You just made the tones by the pressure of the air.
Yeah,
and
we talked before stream. Like I was watching his channel, and I really want a beer, like really bad after watching his videos. But now my wife and kids are going to go out of town this weekend, so I'm probably going to be out hunting in the California mountains to get a bone to make a recording. That sounds so interesting. Like how people had to go to make an instrument.
Are there like
back
markets?
then.
So you say there's like markets too, where you can just go and people will just be like, "Oh, I make deer flutes," or.
Well, I saw them on a medieval market in Sweden, and that was really amazing. In Swedish, it's Medeltidsveckan på Gotland I Visby. And in English, it will be the Medieval Week in Visby. So Visby is an old medieval town. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And they have 10 days medieval festival. And I was there twice in 1998 and 1997, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, big. And I got member of an international society based in California. It's the Society for Creative Anachronism. It started with a student party in 1965, I think, in Berkeley. And it's now nearly worldwide. And they're all recreating pre-17th century Europe.
That is
mostly.
All good things come from a party, I think.
So from like a role-playing perspective, I have to ask, do you enjoy being around other medieval musicians, or do you like to go to festivals and be the medieval music guy? You know what I mean? Like, do you guys kind of role play the way that Civil War people, Civil War reenactors do here?
And the thing is that I do LARP, I do reenactment, but I'm not really good because for the reenactment, I would need a lot of more really accurate gear. And that's expensive or time consuming, and both of them I don't have. No money, no time. So I will play on a 1 week LARP this year again, and so I'm from this recreation thing. So I never thought of me being a musician. I'm a medieval guy trying to get around as a minstrel. On medieval markets.
Okay. Yeah, so, I get it.
Therefore, I don't wear a costume. It's my garb, and I wear that because I feel comfy in it. And I think the audience on a medieval market knows the difference after a while if you're just wearing a costume and you're a musician who wants to get money. And okay, with the medieval markets I can make money. Or if you're a medieval guy making music and getting money. So to be authentic for the audience is a very important thing. I don't think that it's just important for being a minstrel or a medieval musician. It's really important for everyone on stage being authentic.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot here on Twitch as well, Kawau. The difference between someone streaming with the pressure of I'm streaming to try to get a bunch of people to watch me and make money, and the difference between that and someone who's freed up to just be themselves and enjoy being on camera and sharing who they are with people. As a viewer, we can feel the difference, and certainly as a streamer, I think it's more enjoyable just to be who you are and do what you want to do. So how did you find Twitch? Like, how did all of your hobbies and your job actually being a minstrel, how did that end up leading you to or connecting you with Twitch and the decision to start streaming here?
I played at a medieval feast that because it's cool. My profession to play there, and there was a streamer and he's enjoying the feast, and then he asked me if I could be booked. And this was the streamer GG Soundcheck. And at that time, he had some viewers and he made some money with it. And he just said, okay, then I will book you for my stream. And
that's
so
cool.
he booked me, and
That's
he told
awesome.
me, you're so awesome, you should stream. That was about 2 years, a bit more than 2 years ago. And I live in the middle of nowhere, so the internet is lousy. It's really lousy. And about 50 months ago, my mother-in-law died. And she lived in the neighboring house. And the neighboring house is a bit higher than our house. So here we could get some better internet.
Got it.
And in the meantime, he booked me again a year after the first time. And he said, you have to stream. You have to stream on Twitch. And because I don't know anything about all this computer stuff and this internet stuff and so on, I'm able to upload a video on YouTube. But I couldn't get all this things done because, first of all the tutorial videos on YouTube I found were for Windows computers, and I have an Apple. I just have a MacBook.
Amen.
I started.
I hear you. It takes a lot to start.
I'm all Mac too.
It's
so.
And then you have to
crazy.
do the research, and then you have to route the audio, and you have to, and a lot of that you have to watch those videos. Those videos are long. You have to read stuff, troubleshooting. If you don't have the time, and earlier you said I don't really have a lot of time and money for.
I just said I can't do that. Then GG Soundcheck said, okay, then I will drive to your place and I will try to get you started.
That is awesome.
So really came here, and he was really desperate because I have an Apple. He hasn't. So we couldn't make the sounds for the alerts.
Yeah.
And so I still don't have any sounds for my alerts. So when I started streaming, I just used the inbuilt microphone of my Apple computer, and I just started with the inbuilt camera of this laptop.
Yeah.
So I just had my laptop.
But that's all you needed, right? In the beginning.
Same here.
Yeah. And for the sounds, I decided to use a bell, this bell. And I said, okay, the bell will be for, let's say, the follows and the hosts. And I used my horn. And and this horn is for donations, cheers, and subscribes. That was the beginning. And because the
Simple
audience
enough.
loved the bell and the horn, especially the horn, I never tried to get the sounds work because so I don't have the problem while me making music to have sounds in there. And after I'm done with my song, I can use my hornet or the bell as often as I want.
That's really cool. So tell us about, if someone were to tune into your broadcast then here on Twitch, what does a typical broadcast look like? What is, from like start to ending, what do you do?
I have no clue. When I sit down, I have no clue what I want to do. Usually it's a tavern stream, so I'm drinking. It may be beer or cherry juice or something like that. It's not necessarily that I drink alcohol all the time. It's a tavern, so I can order whatever I want.
Yeah.
So
now, do you review the drinks, whatever you're drinking? Do you kind of give reviews and stuff of what you're having, or?
Well, sometimes when the people ask, I can tell them. There was a brewer who sent me self brewed beers, 3 different kinds of, and one was with chili. Was very interesting, and it tasted better than I thought of. And so yes, I even did reviews on beers on my stream because I have them here. And after the last party, there was some beer leftovers, and so I used them in stream. Because
That's kind of leftovers.
A lot of bottles of Celtic beer made here in this district, and some beers. One of my moderators, he really is fond of great all the craft beers and something like that, and he left here, I think, 5 different sorts of beer.
Ooh.
And so, well, I just put it in the cooler and then drink them.
Yeah.
And it's
so good right now.
what do I do on stream? It's quite easy: drinking, talking, and making music.
Yeah, and in real time, it's got to be a much different experience than it was for you on YouTube.
The great thing is to interact with the audience, to listen to them what they want to hear, and sometimes to say, well, I think I really learned to say no during streaming.
Yes.
Because they want me to do a lot of music I don't know, so I have to say no. Sometimes they want to force me to do music I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I say no. And
Good for you, though. Good for you, man.
the thing is that I said, you can do whatever you want. You can donate, cheer, subscribe. You're not be able to force me to do something I don't want. So if you want to give me something, you give me something. You, if you're just a follower or not even that, and you write a wish in the chat, and I want to do this, I will do that. It's not necessarily you're not forced to give me something to get a wish done.
Yeah, exactly. And they're definitely early on. I wish I would have learned that sooner. That's a really great way you summarized it, learning how to say no, because you want more viewers, naturally you want to be successful, and people will ask you to do things, and you might want to cater to that kind of stuff, to try to do that. But in doing so, you're not producing your content. You're producing content that's really, not coming from like your motive. If you feel motivated, I get it. But yeah, I think it just goes back to how important it is to stay authentic and to have fun and like be in your zone.
I think Doc, you mentioned it. We were talking about something a couple episodes back, but you mentioned, like if they're the type of people that isn't, or whatever, you're like, you don't want them there anyway. So if people are just there to try to control what you're doing, like, you don't want them there in the first place, You don't need them.
No, absolutely. It's like a slower growth. I mean, it might be a slower growth. It might be in some ways because, there are certain things that people can do to try to raise their viewer count and, but in the end, it's more sustainable if you just go in straight away. Like, this is me. This is who I am, and this is what I want to do.
Yeah. When I do some extra streams, because I also go into my tavern, because I was used when I lived in Vienna 12 years ago. before I was married. It was usual for me. After a gig, I went to a little pub nearby of my flat, and then I had 1, 2, or 3 beers, and then I went home. Because after a gig, I usually I'm hyped. It's all this adrenaline and all this stuff. And to calm down, I wanted to drink a beer, but I don't want to drink alone at home because I think that's not good. If you start drinking alone, you might have a problem. So here we have 132 citizens. So 132 people live here in this.
That's a small town.
Village.
Is that normal there?
No, that's no.
Does anybody in your town share your interests?
My wife a bit.
Oh, we'll have to learn more about her too.
Well, if you want to know something, just ask.
How did you meet her?
Well, I met her at a castle.
That is cool.
Yeah, I had a gig at a castle, and she did the children riding thing. We have our Icelandic horses, and she and her father they run this children riding the children horse riding, and yeah, I when I saw her the first time. I saw her wearing this medieval, gown.
Yeah.
And where you can see through the sides to the under tunic. And
Spicy.
This was really on her shape.
Yeah.
And
you heard angels.
She's impressive with her. Well,
so what does a knight do when he sees a lady of such beautiful stature? What does a knight do at a castle?
I went over and asked her how she could sew that beyond her boobs it went back to her body, because I made my garment myself, so I know something about sewing, but I don't know how to do that. And so she told me how to do that.
That's slick.
So it was it was like a legit tailoring question. It wasn't just, hey girl, you filling up that garment real nice. It was like, how did you make this way?
Yeah. It's like when you meet a Viking girl, when you ask how her embroidery looks on the inside of the skirt, because there you can see how the embroidery is done. You can't see that on the outside. You have to see the inside of something. Yeah.
I used to hit on girls the wrong way. I
He's
had it all
playing
wrong.
4D chess.
That's awesome, man.
Man.
Congratulations. That's
incredible.
Now, does she do any music at all? Like, or not really?
Oh no. She wants to, but she has no time to learn something.
Yeah.
So, but she is doing a lot of other arts like embroidery, tablet weaving, and all this stuff. Yeah. So she's more in the textile things. Before that, she did a lot with wood and with glass, and she is a really artistic woman.
Mm-hmm.
But in her job, she just was in an office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So altogether, instrument-wise, what would you say you're kind of proficient at? What your main instruments?
A profession?
No, like what instruments do you play? Like I know, like the recorder, and I've seen you play like the bowron, the drum, And,
Yeah,
like
so it's
altogether.
the boron. I can't say that exactly. It depends on how much I can carry with me.
Got it.
The thing is, if I have something like a walking act, will usually have on me about 25 to 30 instruments, I think.
Wow.
Most of them recorders and games horns and whistles and flutes, because there are different kinds. You know, a tin whistle sounds a lot different to a games horn.
Yeah.
For example, I have this bass games horn. It's a really big horn, but it has this smooth, deep sound. While a tin whistle is high pitched.
Yeah.
Mostly, if you don't play a low whistle. Then I always have with me my Ocarina, because the Ocarina is a really important instrument to get some drinks. Because if you can play music on a teacup, you are really getting people impressed.
Well, Doc plays music on a straw.
Yeah.
And so he can relate to that.
That's really
Yes,
cool.
I have one.
Yeah, that's
empty.
cool.
I got,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go, Steph.
I got nothing.
Yeah, and
Learn from the best.
my teacup just sounds like that.
Oh, I think it muted. That's so cool. That is awesome.
That is awesome. I heard a little bit.
Yeah.
I never had tea in it.
Yeah.
Wait, it says you're a bard and not a knight. Somebody in the chat just said, good for Arnulf that he is a bard and not a knight.
That's true. When I was wearing armor a lot, I thought I want to be a bard, because then I don't have to wear all this heavy stuff. If you just play one instrument, that might be true.
Yeah.
I play too many instruments. They always ask me how many instruments I can play, and that's a bad question, because I don't know what instruments I can play, because I can play instruments I never heard of, because they're so similar to other instruments I can play. And on the other hand, they ask me how many instruments I have. I stopped counting when I get over 100. So I think I have 13 or 14 bagpipes.
I was gonna say, I've seen you play the bagpipes. Yeah, that's so cool in your videos.
At some point, you just have to answer, "It's infinite."
I was joking, because St. Patrick's Day is coming up tomorrow, and I was joking with.
I have a gig.
Oh, you do?
You have a gig.
Nice. But I was joking with one of my students. They were, we were just talking about St. Patrick's Day, and I actually had a cousin who, for like 10 years, took bagpipe lessons. And we would go over to her house. I know it's interesting because
it's cool.
It was way cool, but I remember, 10 years she took lessons, right? So I remember when we were little, we'd go over and she's like, "Oh, listen, I learned this song," and she would play it. And then 10 years later, she would play another song, but they sounded the same to me. Like I couldn't tell if there were bad notes or not. I was like, yes, like it just sounds like it's an instrument that I know so little about. Like it's so fascinating, the bagpipes, Like,
yeah, so many bagpipes.
Yeah,
that's a problem, because the French have their own bagpipes, the Spanish have their own bagpipes. So in Spain you have the gaita galega. I have one, but the reed is broke at the moment. Then in Germany you have the Hümmelchen and the Böhmischen Bock, and in Scotland, you have the Great Highland Bagpipe, but you have also the small pipes. And
where did they originate from? Because I'm like, that's what I was getting at. I'm like, I don't know, like anything
from the
about
east.
The bagpipes. Okay,
from the east.
Yeah.
Usually everything comes from the east.
Yeah.
Even the instruments like the lute, for example, they came from the east, and because in the 8th and 9th century, I think 9th century at most, there were the Arabs in Spain,
Yeah.
So people from Spain learned this instrument to know, and the French saw it, and the original instrument is an Arabic instrument called oud, and the French said la oud. And therefore in Germany they say laute. And loud means loud, and this is not a loud instrument. It's a quiet instrument. But it the origin is from the word is not loud but it's laut So because it's the original is an oud.
So cool.
How about that?
So with these old instruments, things like bowls and flutes and, things of that nature, I guess they're probably just intended to be a solo instrument, right? Because how would you get other instruments in tune with them?
The thing is that if you buy it today, they're tuned.
Yeah.
And in the older times, they were also tuned, but in a different way. We have this chromatic tuning now. And in the Middle Ages, you always have the real quints.
Yeah.
And therefore, after some octaves, you're really out of tune. Yeah. But as the range isn't as wide as now, it doesn't matter. So therefore, but you can play them in tune. There were famous what is called there was a minstrel in the 15th century, for example, Oswald von Wolkenstein, and he did drinking songs with I think 3 or 4 voices. So you have all this different voices, even in the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
and sometimes one of the recorders is just the drone, and the next recorder is doing the melody. So you can play them together, even in a medieval way. But I don't care a lot about the medieval way. I can't read notes. I have not much clue of music theory, because I quit it in school, and I never learned that afterwards. I just take an instrument and play. And for example, when I got my first bagpipe, I played 3 different songs on the bagpipe 3 weeks later, because my band had a gig, and we had already one bagpipe player, and they forced me to buy a bagpipe because we were at this medieval instrument fair where you can see a lot of medieval instruments, and he said, hey, this is from the same bagpipe maker like mine, and it's 1 octave higher, so it will really fit to mine. So you will buy it now. And the thing was, we couldn't afford the instrument, and we have to pay a certain amount right at that time. And so we were 3 people putting our money together to do the first payment for this bagpipe. And I never had bagpipes I never had bagpipe lessons, because always when there are these weekends where you can learn bagpipe, I had gigs where I had to play bagpipe.
Yeah.
And so, will I learn bagpipe and pay for it, or will I play bagpipe and get money for it?
Yeah.
I usually played bagpipe.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Now, you did YouTube first, and then you made the transition to Twitch. How did I'm just curious, like, how did your YouTube base, like the people that subscribed and watched you on YouTube, how did they, because a lot of them, I'm sure that was their first time coming over to Twitch. How did they?
Yeah, what was it like migrating them?
I don't think that they migrated.
Oh, really?
Really? But you're doing so well, and you grew so quickly, because I feel as though You've been on Twitch for 1 year because you and I have the same stream anniversary.
Yeah.
And I started streaming 2 years ago, and you started streaming a year ago in February, right?
Yes, that's right.
But we have really similar follower counts. You're kicking butt. You're doing like awesome work.
Heck yeah.
So I just figured that you already. I just assumed. So I was just very ignorant.
No, I started. I had a good start, and I gave this good start to 2 fellow streamers who copied my tavern, the tavern idea, and made them a bit different. So there is a pirates tavern and a steampunk tavern now.
Nice.
Cool.
And so each of us is streaming 2 times a week. So we have a 6 days schedule, and on Friday we are off. I started because GG Soundcheck was the guy who introduced me to that, and as he did all this advertisement because he wanted to book me, so he had this donation goal to book me, and I was in his chat, so I made friends with the people in his chat, and when I started, I had the second time on his channel, and when so they came over to my channel. So I started with the viewers of GG Soundcheck, and I started with about 30 people.
That's great.
Wow.
Wow.
So just really
when you start
cool.
streaming and you have 30 people in your audience, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And so it grew, and so after 11 months, I had about 5,500 followers.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's amazing. That's
And
amazing.
Now I have more than 26,000.
Yes.
So cool.
You're doing way
It
better
was
than me then.
in January
Holy
and
cow.
February.
Goodness
Just-
gracious.
Just 2 months. First of all, I had a Swedish Dota player rated me, and I got a lot of new followers. And then somebody clipped one of my streams, the thing with the 3 recorders, and it went wild on Reddit with I think 250,000 views.
Amazing.
And this was posted in some format of soda poppin' twice.
Wow.
So
Jeez.
I thought I had a bot because I didn't stream and got viewers, got more and more followers, and I thought somebody botted me. It was strange. And then I had a raid of a German YouTuber called Montana Black 88, and he came over with about 7,500 people. And on this evening, I made 2,000 follower. 2,000
Oh my
one evening.
On that one, yeah.
Wow.
That's
That
awesome,
was
though, man.
great.
Well, what
Outrageous.
what you do is so original, though.
It's its own niche,
Yeah.
and I can see the overlap between special interests on Twitch and for the medieval stuff. People like to do things like Warhammer, and people like to immerse themselves in other worlds. People love cosplay. You're literally running a virtual tavern with a specific theme that has to appeal to people here, obviously. And then once Reddit is there, there's a lot of overlap between the Reddit audience and Twitch audience. I mean, it is. You've really blown up. It's incredible.
What makes it so genuine, I think, is you've been doing it for so long, and you obviously just love, love it. You love what you do. So when you watch your stream, you get that feeling that you love it, and it's 100%. So Steph is the one that told me about it, and when I went to your stream, I'm like, "This is so cool!" I didn't want to leave. I was like, I obviously couldn't understand a lot of what you were saying at the time, but I was still there. I could tell when you were playing music or when you were saying hi to people, or I just kind of knew what you were doing, even though the language was different. Like your energy is very good, and it's very addicting to go to your channel. So
and there's a lot of Germans on Twitch, and there's a lot of I've noticed that there's a huge like German viewer base and a huge EU viewer base in creative and music. So I mean, I don't know. I just think it's great.
yeah.
The only thing is that I always search for German-speaking music streams because I'm not the best in English, and I really appreciate people that speak German because I can understand them, and it's easier for me in the chat because I'm very slow in typing, but I'm much slower in typing in English. So, but I couldn't find many. So I think on one, the most people doing music are DJs or people making computer music, and I like this handmade music. So all of you do all this handmade music. Therefore, I like your streams.
Well, and I just want to clarify that when you say music, you mean on Twitch, selecting the music game, the music category.
Yeah. So I stream in real life because of my tavern concept, but have this. You have this 3 different groups you can join, and there is always music, positivity, and chill out.
Really quick, if we have time, I just want to hear one more time. You know, you're talking about this virtual tavern concept, saying there's a steampunk tavern, a pirate tavern. Are these other streamers? I didn't quite catch all of that. Is this a stream team you're on or a group of friends?
I was at the Vienna Comic Con and I played there at the LARP village, and suddenly this cosplayer doing Jack Sparrow came over to me because he heard my bagpipe playing and he said, I know that. He came over and said, well, a friend of mine, a LARPer, told me I should run your concept on Twitch because as a cosplayer and musician, I could do it. And he asked me if he would be allowed to do it. And I said, well, the best thing is if he starts to do that we work together. So I invited him to do a stream with me as a guest here to give him a good start. And so he started with his tavern, and a friend of mine, he's also a musician and LARPer. He do a lot of pirate music, all originals. And I wanted him here as a guest too. And at the day he were here, I convinced him to start a Twitch channel. And he became a Twitch streamer too. But after we have in this tavern group one pirate stream with Jack Sparrow, he said he will start now a steampunk concept to have 3 different concepts in the taverns. And I don't know how this works with the teams or groups. Therefore, we don't have something like that. Somebody asked me if I want to be on his team, but I don't know what the concept of teams is really on Twitch, because I feel so new and I feel that I don't know how it works, but I just do my thing.
Yeah, but
it's like
you're coordinating.
Yeah, you're acting like a team though, but it is 3 different channels. It's your channel, and then a steampunk channel, and then a pirate channel.
We started a Facebook page, the Innkeepers on Twitch. So where we all 3 are, and our schedule with the 6 days is on. It's online so that the people can see that we work together.
What was that called again?
I think it's Innkeepers on Twitch. Or
Innkeepers. INN.
Yeah.
INNKEE.
I'm so
KEEPERS.
I'm so inspired.
Innkeepers
like
on Facebook.
I'm so gonna put like a tavern in my new studio. like a bar.
Yeah, I think that's
Totally doing that.
it makes sense. It's an incredible concept, because people, what are we providing but a virtual venue?
Well, like you said, like after a gig, you didn't want to go, and you're all excited, and you didn't want to go home and drink alone. So the idea of a pub is to go and socialize with people of the community. It's not to go get wasted
That was the
and
idea.
crazy. Yeah, it's just to go and sit down and say, hey, what's going on? How's the family? What's happening? I love that idea. And, that's how your stream feels. It really does feel like you got a pub, on the internet. You just sit down and you're just hanging out and singing, telling stories. I mean, that's what happens in a pub. People break out singing and they're happy.
And now, after I had a gig, I can go home, sit in front of the computer, start streaming, because there I have my people.
That's
I
your
can
pub, yeah.
drink my beer and chill out before going to sleep. And
cool.
my wife, as she follows me, got a ping, and she knows, oh, he's at home. That's good.
He's fine.
That's great. That's great.
I love
So
it.
that started out really amazing. And for me, it's really great because sometimes I'm not in a good mood. I sit down, I start streaming. And when I stop streaming, I'm in an excellent mood because streaming makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's another reason to do it.
Yeah.
The reason.
Now, how has it since a year ago, how has Twitch impacted you in your life over the last year?
And your career.
Or shaped your future? It's such a, like a curveball out of left field sometimes. Like, how has it changed your life?
I'm so glad to that I watched so many baseball movies that I know that what you say.
When I was saying it, I'm like, oh crap, that was a really bad analogy.
Yeah,
So
I know. Even Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, they had this this baseball match on the holodeck. Okay.
Yes.
Well, the thing is that I, first of all, I didn't feel anything in the last 11 months, the first 11 months, because where I play, I have my audience. So as the people think I was on the medieval Austrian scene forever, because it started in about 1993. I started in 1984. So you can see... when the medieval festivals in Austria started, I did my job for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So all the people who start have their Arnulf stories. So the stories they can share where they meet me first time. That's amazing to have an audience who loves me so much. Mm-hmm. And so there was no difference until the certain point in January where it starts going nuts. To have about, I got more than, I think I got 20,000 new followers within 2.5 months.
Wow.
That's what? And
wow.
I had this gig in a very, very, very small venue in Wiener Neustadt, which is quite close to Vienna. And the first time I was there, it was in December. And it was nearly empty. Just 2 or 3 people from the medieval scene were there. And some people who went there accidentally because they always went to this venue. And the second time was 1 week ago. And it was full. And 3/4 of the audience were from Twitch.
Yes.
They took flights from Frankfurt, from Germany to Austria to be there. They came from Bavaria by train to Vienna to see me. They came from Styria, which is not quite close. but still in Austria, to see me. That was amazing. They even gave me a 100 euro donation because one girl told me she can't donate online because she don't know how it works and she has no possibility. So 3 people put their money together and gave me 100 euro donation.
Wow.
So cool.
So I got it felt like streaming, except the thing that the audience could sing with me along. And there I could see how many people watched my streams because they know the texts, they could sing along, and the whole venue was singing. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
That is
it
amazing.
felt fine. So that was the thing where I knew, okay, I will end with the ending song of my streams.
Aww. That's just awesome. If you have time, I've seen a couple questions float by in the audience. Do you mind?
Yeah, whatever. I'm ready.
Perfect. Let's give a little streamer musician advice. Keys of My Mind was asking earlier. He said, I do want to sing in front of people. I like to make music, but I just can't get over that I think that I sound terrible. How do you have any advice for helping people get outside of their comfort zones?
Don't care. The only thing is, don't care. When I started singing, the people told me I sound awful. Well, I just loved singing, so I don't care.
You do
They
it.
always told it to me until the time when I went to Ireland. Because for school, I did a research paper about the Anglo-Irish conflict as presented in Irish folk music. So I had, for school, I had to go in a pub with live music every evening. So I really did everything for school. And, well, after that, the Irish didn't know that the people told me that I'm awful. So they don't think that I'm awful. And after the Irish liked my music, I came back to Germany where I went to school and thought, when the Irish like my Irish songs, then all the people who say that I'm crap should be quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
And the funny thing was that they didn't do it anymore. They didn't say that I sound like crap. And what I really liked was when I was in Ireland, somebody asked me, where is this Irish accent from when you're singing? And I just said, well, it's this way on the CD I have at home. And just singing like it was on the CD. So
yeah.
I'm not good in Irish. But now I have the situation again when you play music in the internet and you have the chat and you have you're on the starting page of Twitch. I'm every now and then on the starting page of Twitch Germany,
like the front page.
And
the front page, yeah.
Front page, yeah, the front page, and there are a lot of people coming in. A lot of them stay, but a lot of them say, be quiet, it would be a better channel if you don't sing or don't play music or all the stuff. The thing is, if first of all, I heard all this stuff in real life before, so it doesn't matter to me so much. But I also have an extremely good mod team. And when you're on Twitch, the mods are so important because they are, I always say, they are like my offense line and I'm the quarterback. So they block everything which tries to come to me. So even so fast that I even can't see it. And that's the best thing.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. That's helpful. Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah. See, you know baseball and football. Or American football.
I played American football for 2 seasons in Germany.
Nice.
In a very small team.
That's
Yeah, but
Did they
That's
did
very
they let you
cool.
wear your knight's armor when you were playing though?
dude, that yeah.
no, I had a football armor. It's much better for football.
Somebody said, "This guy's so great. How come I've never seen him before?" Would you mind briefly letting folks know your schedule? Because I know I haven't really caught you either. And maybe we're streaming at the same time, but I can't believe it. So please let us know when you're typically online.
The thing is that we have different times, I live in near Vienna, so it's Central Europe time, as much as I know. And then I'm at 9:30 p.m. on Tuesdays and Sundays, usually. Next Sunday not, because last Saturday on my concert I was booked for 2 days playing in Styria next week. So I couldn't be back at the right time for my stream. But usually on Saturdays and Sundays, my whole schedule is usually on my Twitch page. To see, that's not a link. It's really written on this page for about 3 or 4 weeks in front or beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
to check out Kawau's schedule and see when he's going to be streaming, go to his channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/KAWAU TV.
TV.
Sorry, it took me a second.
2030 Central European. What would that put us at in the United States?
It's about -6 or -5 to -10 or
So be in the
-11
afternoon
hours.
for us.
So at the moment we have 7:15 p.m. here.
So you'd be about maybe 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
The thing is that sometimes I'm later, but that's not on schedule. That's on mostly Fridays and Saturdays, because when I come home from a gig, I will sit down and stream
Yeah.
for about 1 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
It depends on how many beers I drink, or
I hear you. We got another question.
when I'm talking and making music, I don't drink so fast. So sometimes I want to drink 2 beers, and after 2 hours, when there's just 1 beer, I want to have a second one, and then I stream longer.
That's awesome, though. I'd say you've earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man.
usually on my real schedule, I'm online for at least 3 hours.
What instruments that you play would you say make the most unique sounds? This is from Blind Seer.
My Geierleier, I think.
A what?
A Geierleier,
Gaia?
which is a stringed instrument, which I think it's something in between Irish bouzouki and Appalachian dulcimer.
Okay.
Something, a fusion of that.
Got it.
And if you want to know about those, you got to go check out his YouTube channel.
It's addicting, yeah. Because I was
Yeah,
watching
and-
a video you were shooting
the-
arrows, and I'm like, oh, well, so do that.
Show us, hype. Show us.
Yeah.
And
Everybody's asking.
I think I have it over there, but this is the other one. It's the bass Gemshorn.
My goodness.
That's beautiful.
That is really stinking cool, man.
I like this
crazy.
deep tune. This,
Yeah, there's
oh.
You can hear all these harmonics too, like you don't hear from other
Yeah.
instruments. That's beautiful. Now, what out of all? Because you said you know there's over 100 that you have. Do you have a favorite maybe not like the most
Nope.
unique. No, they're all.
Nope. I have two or I think about two favorite bagpipes out of my bagpipes, and I have my 3 Gems horns of my 6 Gems horns, which are my favorite, and on the recorders, I think what really fits well is the alto recorder and the soprano recorder, because they match together quite well. For example, and therefore I like them.
Dane.
That's so
And
good.
my boat
Hero.
Sultry. And my boat Sultry is another one, which I really appreciate because it's a stringed instrument with a bow. And
Ah,
Look at that.
Steph.
the thing,
it's so cool.
and it's so easy because it has a lot of strings. So for each tone, one string. For each note, one string. So you can play it.
I need it. Sounds harpsichordy. It sounds really cool. That is really,
That's
really
beautiful.
cool. You know, I was looking into like instruments that I was doing the wrong search. I was looking for instruments that you could bow that were fretted. I never thought that you could just get an instrument that you don't even have to
You
fret.
can bow cymbals.
Yep.
You can bow anything.
Yeah.
Enough rosin.
The thing is that it's so easy that they use it for musical educations in kindergarten. So
That's cool.
even when you're just 4 years old, you can try that. It's like a xylophone, but it's not so nasty in the tone.
Yeah. So I bet
The children's xylophones are usually very high pitched and don't sound well. And I give this into the hands of small children. You always have to control the parents, because all the parents don't think that their children are able to do anything with an instrument. So
yeah.
they always
Yeah.
want to show them. But for me, an instrument is a toy.
yeah.
So I want to play with my toys. And I don't want to learn how to play, because playing is something you do from your own.
Yeah.
So I just want to play. That's the reason why I play 3 recorders at the same time is that I was not in music school, so nobody told me that you can't do that.
Yep. Man, I wish you came to my kindergarten class when I was a kid.
I know.
That's such a cool thing that you do though. Like, you're impacting not only people on Twitch with what you do, but like kids and even adults. I'm sure you're just sharing these older instruments and old ways to play. I mean, that's where we have all the music that we have now. It's evolved, but it's so cool to see and hear firsthand how it stuff sounded back then. Like that knowledge is so valuable.
The most thing I want to do, and it works out a lot because I have so many people writing it to me, that I want to inspire people to start music, even if they're older.
Yeah.
So many people say, I can't do music. That's not true. You can. Maybe you can't play symphonies from scratch, but start music is simple, and it's not expensive. A tin whistle is about 10 euros, and a recorder made from wood, if you go to a toy market, you just have to pay 20 euros for a recorder. I even have plastic recorders for $5, and my main recorder here was on a flea market for $5. It's a beautiful instrument, Well, it's easy. And if you think plastic sounds not good, this here is just bought on Amazon and it's made from plastic.
Yeah.
And it sounds this. The problem is that many people think that they would be better musicians if they have better instruments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know there are some instruments where it won't work. For example, bagpipes. A cheap bagpipe is nearly impossible to play even if you're a bagpiper. So don't buy cheap bagpipes.
A bad musician is still going to sound bad on a good instrument, but a good musician will sound good on a bad instrument. It doesn't matter.
I do see a question from Depeche Moog. What is a Ulian pipes? Ulian pipes? Ulian pipes? How do you pronounce it?
I'm not sure, but I think Ulian pipes or something like that. Ulian.
Okay.
Because it's Gaelic, and I'm not good in Gaelic.
Oh, that's different.
But that's amazing too. I don't have them. Even not even a student set or a small set. But I would like to have one. The thing is that I'm not sure if my very, very small hands could play this instrument.
Now I want to know how large it is.
It's not extremely large, but I have extremely small hands.
Got it. That's really cool, though. I don't know.
Cool.
Your channel is, like I said, even your YouTube channel, I could sit there like all night. It's like, you know, you'll be talking about food or, you know, meat or, like I said, you know, firing arrows and, you know, just some of the interviews that you do. It's fascinating stuff. It's really neat.
I think if it's something fascinating for me, it could be fascinating for others. But my success the last 2 months on YouTube is because so many people from Twitch migrated to YouTube.
Got it.
Wow.
That's pretty
Because
cool.
That's
it's
really
a complete
great.
different kind of content. Because I was asked why I won't stream on YouTube. And the thing is that on YouTube, I have this edutainment format. I really want to do some educational but fun content concerning medieval topics.
Mm-hmm.
But on streaming, I want to feel free. And so it won't fit to my edutainment channel. Therefore, I want to be on a different platform. So so Twitch gives me the opportunity to have a different platform than YouTube, and here I can even play the Cantina song from Star Wars. And I can have funny things in my background which are not medieval, because when somebody said, well, that won't fit, well, it's my tavern, it fits.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool that you found a way to use both, you know, and to use them successfully for their own sort of thing. Have you ever tried the videos, the uploading on Twitch?
Once I wanted to, I tried a premiere, but I couldn't make it because I missed a button where to press release. It was weeks ago. Well, it's Twitch. Sometimes something is
let's
new
be real.
and it won't work.
No, so can you guys answer this for me? We haven't done too much Twitch news. I don't think there's too much Twitch news going on unless you guys know things I don't know. But when it comes to Premiere, can you not just upload a video anymore to make available for view? Now it has to go through a live process. Am I understanding this correctly?
That is how it's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is how it's currently set up. I thought I saw a tweet not that long ago from Twitch that they saw all the complaints and that they were going to leave the Premiere function, but they were going to give us the ability. And I could be remembering this completely wrong. They were going to give us back the capability to just upload a video.
Give us the ability.
Yeah, because it's
don't take things away. Just give us more.
Such a pain in the butt to have to do that.
Or let us schedule it.
Yeah,
let us give us the ability to run it on our channel in real time, post it, or schedule it
Yeah.
to run or post later.
Yeah.
I don't get why that's so hard. But at the same time, they try new things. People tell them what they think, and it's good they're listening.
I like the
Thank you.
idea of being able to take a video that you've uploaded, like a highlight video when you have a streamiversary, right? You've got a 1 year thing and you put together a whole highlight clip. Like, I think it's really cool to be able to do the premiere thing, like you said, Steph. Like, give us the extra thing, but man, don't take away the ability to just upload a video and share it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I discovered that all the different platforms try to do the things the other platforms are famous for. So to get closer. So YouTube has its live streaming, and Twitch has now, you can upload videos, whatever you want, and all this, and even Facebook and all this, they are trying to take away the audience of the other platform to give them what they would miss there.
Yeah.
But you know, Twitch is absolutely unique to for when you look at the streaming of, for example, YouTube, where your post can be seen if you pay more money. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that it's better to do it with the highlights, where you can just write at KawauTV and I can see it, and you don't have to pay for it. But that's and it's different here. Here, the people are more the patrons of the artists. So they give if they want to, and they're not forced to do it. And I think that's the real important thing. You don't have to force people to give you something. You should be there, and if you like, if they like it, what you do, then they have the possibility to give you something. That's like playing on the street. If you have a hat there and they put money in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Something that did put a big spotlight on Twitch. Was it 2 nights ago? I think it was, or it wasn't last night. So 2 nights ago, Ninja. Everyone knows Ninja, but Drake played with Ninja, right, on Twitch, and instantly, it's little things like that, like one little moment, right, can even blow it up even more. And there's so many people that were like, wait, what's Twitch? What's happening? What's this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like advertising, it's not that you need to do that, but it's like little things like that, you know, the more people that come over to Twitch are going to find music and all that. But I thought that was really cool, though. Like just the influx of talk and people that were finding out about Twitch.
They just put it on the radar.
Yeah. Like, what's Twitch? And then they go there and they're like, oh.
This with Ninja was, I think, 2 days ago.
Yeah,
or something
that's
like
what
that.
I think.
And I never heard of Ninja before. Sorry, but
it's okay.
It's a recent huge blowing up success for him. Even before he was playing with Drake, this past couple weeks.
It was.
I don't even know when it started.
Couple months,
he's been killing it.
Past couple months.
Yeah, he's been really killing it though. Just outpace. What does he have? 100,000 subs.
Way past
crazy.
That. Way past that.
He's just got a nuts amount of subscribers. So it's this
about
weird phenomenon of hype.
156,000 or something like that. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And somebody said even if 100,000 will quit in a month, there will be enough left.
Yeah. Well, like he's been doing gaming for a long time, like a long time. He's not like a new person to gaming. Like he's actually like a really decent gamer. And he's one of those people that just, you know, has been at it for years and years and years and is now, you know, his, you know, constant kind of work at it's paying off. But
he's insanely good at Fortnite, and Fortnite's one of the most popular, like it's on its upswing, kind of in the fervor of becoming really popular. And he is incredibly good at that game. So
go figure, Drake just wanted to play Fortnite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so Drake says, who do I want to play Fortnite with? I'm going to go find,
yeah.
you know, the best guy to play with. and I'm gonna play Fortnite in style.
I was talking with a
beautiful.
student about it yesterday, and I was like, I like Drake a lot, so I was like, man, Drake's so cool.
I
And
do
then,
too, yeah.
And then when I was like, what? He's playing Fortnite? Like,
Right?
Drake, you need to be working. Like, I had in my head, I'm like, I can't
need to be
picture
working.
Drake
Give us
like
new
at
music.
home on his couch, like, all right, he's up on that hill behind that tree, man. Like,
No, what's really cool is like, the video game industry is the largest entertainment industry. This has grown out of really a gaming community. It's international. These games, people are playing all over the world. So, I mean, it makes sense that a channel like Kawau's channel is going to do so well here between the overlap of interests and the fact you can reach people globally.
The thing is, you have World of Warcraft, you have Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Oblivion series, you have even DSA Drakensang and The Witcher, and they're all in this genre, Assassin's Creed. And so many things are in Middle Ages fantasy setting that even League of Legends thing is, for example. So there are a lot of people on the Twitch community already close to a medieval fantasy tavern. So there just had to be one.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times to game, they just want to go hang out in the environment with people who share the same interests, and just, some people just like to experience, the vibe of the game. Yeah. They just like to hang out and meet people and talk to people, and you're giving them that outlet in a way they're already comfortable, just in a different way. Yeah. It's very cool.
No, I was going to say, and also other news, again, like a lot of musicians are still getting front page time, which is really cool.
So much front page time.
But 88 is still in the stream on 88-bit. Yesterday, what day is today? Friday. They voted. He's still in there.
Yeah.
And so everyone keeps supporting 88-bit music on the stream on challenge that Twitch is putting on, or Twitch Studios, I guess is the way to put it, right?
Twitch Studios. Yeah, they're putting on this challenge, this show called Stream On. They started with 14 streamers. They're eliminating them weekly and giving them different challenges to do to try to grow their communities. And this week's challenge was something really strange. I didn't catch it, but it had to do with like a QR code it's basically like a scavenger hunt type challenge. But it is pretty cool. 88-bit music is the only musician, or at least streaming musician that's in that competition.
But it's been really cool. I've been able to catch a couple, and just all the people that are hosting him, and even just going in there, because the first week it was to get growth, like sustained growth over a certain amount of time. And it was like the first day, and it was so cool just to see everyone showing up and hosting. Like, it was like every 20 minutes, big people would host, and I don't know, it was very encouraging and really cool to see everyone kind of get behind him. So,
and he's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah, I think I never saw somebody having so much fun and power. For such a long time.
Yeah. I would love to see you two together. That would be a good time.
Oh, yeah. Are there any plans? Do you think that you would ever want to come to the United States for a TwitchCon?
I don't know exactly, because I never was on a Twitch meeting or something like that ever. So because when I started getting into it was really after New Year's Eve, when I had all this outcome in followers and subscribers and there was the Dream Hack in Leipzig in Germany, and I missed that because it was too short. So we'll go to Gamescom in Cologne.
Right on.
And this will be my first convention where there is also a lot of people from Twitch.
Yeah, that's huge.
Then
Gamescom is huge.
I tried to find out if I fit in there. I hope to. And Well, I don't know what the future will bring, but it definitely. I'm interested to go to the US, but usually to an SCA event, for example, for war or something like that. There's in Florida there is I think the Eastern War, and they have this Green Dragon. It's a tavern there.
Ooh.
And I want to perform in this tavern.
Nice.
That sounds strange if the opportunity could be the TwitchCon.
Yeah.
But this year's San Jose would no, not this
I
year.
wish they would do TwitchCon in Florida. It would be so cheap.
Yeah.
It would be so much less expensive if they just did TwitchCon in Florida, and then you could play at your tavern.
The thing is that I have to ask myself, could I afford the flight from Europe over there? And yes, that's the main reason is to afford the flight.
Yeah.
But as much as I know, Meadow Fox will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I've read, and I rated her a lot of times.
She's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Resurrection Fern.
Yeah.
I think she's streaming right now.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. The thing is that I wanted to give something back. You know, I want to support small streamers. I want to support not so small streamers, but where I think they're worth to get more. Because I met on the internet people here on Twitch, and they're all so nice and so helpful. And I don't know that from YouTube. At YouTube, there's more working to be better than the other, to read it better than the other.
Yeah.
I don't have the feeling on Twitch. I have the feeling also, he got a lot of new followers.
Yeah.
That's fine. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Not my numbers are lower than his. That can't be.
It's collaborative. It's collaborative instead of competitive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is very true.
So at YouTube, you always be told you have to collaborate with channels who have the same size like yours. Don't collaborate with the bigger ones because they won't collaborate with you. Don't collaborate with the small ones because they don't bring you new people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so wrong, I think, because I collaborate with a very small YouTuber when that's the most viewed video I have on my channel. And
Wow.
he just had about 100 people, but the video itself is good running. So it doesn't matter if the other person has more or less, or much more or more less, or lesser people behind him, because it depends on the person. If the person is cool, everything turns out well.
Exactly. Well, where can people find you if they don't know? For the people listening on the audio version, where can people find you on Twitch and on Twitter and YouTube? Whereabouts are you on the interwebs?
Well, on Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook, it's always KawauTV.
Okay.
K-A-W. Yeah. KawauTV. So this, the good thing is with KawauTV, there is no other KawauTV around. So
what is
Google?
Is there a meaning behind it, or?
Yeah.
The thing is that Kawau was a nonsense word. Ulrich von Liechtenstein, you know him in a movie called Ulrich from Liechtenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Ulrich von Liechtenstein was in reality a 12th century minstrel. and he wrote 2 books about women.
Yeah.
And there was this dialogue between a man and a woman, and she says, would you have just said Kawau? We could laugh and talk about it, but you don't even say anything. So it's hard to get involved with somebody if you don't talk to the person, but you also can talk nonsense, but then laugh about it, and then you have some kind of dialogue. To meet a woman as a man is then much easier.
Yeah.
And he just uses the word Kawau because it has no meaning. This 12th century minstrel couldn't know that there is an island near New Zealand which is called Kawau too.
Interesting. Really
But
cool.
in medieval context, it has no meaning, but it's in a book of a 12th century minstrel called Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Got it.
So,
Very cool. Very cool.
And he's in a book, in a songbook, with a lot of illuminations called Manesse. And there you have a picture of him in the full knight's armor, because most of the minstrels were knights. And he has this shield with the red, and it's a red...
Like your Twitter picture, kind of, with the blue?
Like my Twitter picture, and this blue chevron. So this is the original shield of Ulrich von Liechtenstein, painted in about the year 1300. So I just turned the shield to the side to have this K for Kawau.
That is awesome.
So it's all Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Yeah,
It's a really medieval context.
Yeah. Well, you sure are. You sure are inspiring it, and Twitch is lucky to have you doing what you do. And thank you for taking the time to share, something different that is so unique, and you do it so well. So thank you for that. We really appreciate that, and taking the time out of your day to talk to us.
It is no problem at all, because I'm at home, because as a musician. Last week I had a gig. This week I don't have one. Next week I will have a gig too on Friday. So it's my day off, so I have time for it.
Yeah.
And that's great. Thank you for having me and to give me the opportunity to be here. And maybe I could help to support the fund a bit. So I hope that there still are people out there who want to donate for children, for music.
Thank you, folks, for joining us today.
Guys, thank you so much.
It was amazing. Thank you, and thank you all the donators and the viewers and the spectators and the followers and all the other guys out there. Thank you so much for being here and for writing and listening, and for all the people on iTunes. Thank you for listening till the end.
Die Pest bringt allen was, das wird ein großer Spaß. Die Pest bringt allen was, manch einer beißt ins Gras. Die Pest bringt allen was, stecht an das größte Fass. Die Pest bringt allen was, erhebt das letzte Glas. Ob in Hamburg, Prag, Köln, Berlin, London, Rom, Paris und Wien, ob Land, ob Burg, ob Dorf, ob Stadt, egal wer viel, wer wenig hat, der schwarze Tod kommt zu Besuch, die Pest ist unser aller Fluch. Die Pest bringt allen was, das wird ein großer Spaß. Die Pest bringt allen was, manch einer beißt ins Gras. Die Pest bringt allen was, stecht an das größte Fass. Die Pest bringt allen was, erhebt das letzte Glas. Der Doktor setzt die Maske auf, das Schicksal nimmt nun seinen Lauf. Wer Beulen schon am Körper hat, wer hustet, bleich ist und noch matt, wir liegen alle bald auf Bahren und werden dann zur Hölle fahren. Die Pest bringt allen was, das wird ein großer Spaß. Die Pest bringt allen was, manch einer beißt ins Gras. Die Pest bringt allen was, stecht an das größte Fass. Die Pest bringt allen was, erhebt das letzte Glas. So tanzen wir den Totentanz, egal ist jeder Firlefanz. Dann klopft der Tod an Tür und Tor, steht uns das Ende bald bevor. So feiern wir ein letztes Fest, versaufen nun den letzten Rest. Die Pest bringt allen was, das wird ein großer Spaß. Die Pest bringt allen was, manch einer beißt ins Glas. Die Pest bringt allen was, schlecht an das größte Fass. Die Pest bringt allen was, erhebt das letzte Glas. Die Pest bringt allen was, das wird ein großer Spaß. Die Pest bringt allen was, manch einer beißt ins Gras. Die Pest bringt allen was, schlecht an das größte Fass. Die Pest bringt allen was, erhebt das letzte Glas. Zieht der schwarze Tod dann weiter, wird das Gemüt uns wieder heiter. Und wie einst schon der Augustin entstieg der Grube dort in Wien, sind auch wir vielleicht am Leben und trinken dann auf Gottes Segen. Die Pest bringt allen was, das wird ein großer Spaß. Die Pest bringt allen was, manch einer beißt ins Gras. Die Pest bringt allen was, schlecht an das größte Fass. Die Pest bringt allen was, erhebt das letzte Glas.